Aloha and ikamomai. Hello and welcome to today's video. For this week's Saturday at the Shoreline, we are here at the Makapu'u Lighthouse, where Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler had one of their scenes in 50 First Dates. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. But before I do that, go ahead and click that bell icon down below so you get notified every time I upload a video. I want to talk to you about 4 things that I think are important to find your potential. When I start thinking about my potential, I think the sky is the limit. The context I want to bring to you about potential today is how high can you climb in this thing that we call life. Getting to this view of the lighthouse and of the ocean was a hike about 400 feet up, which isn't too bad, and it's all a paved surface, so it's a pretty nice hike. But one of my first hikes here was up Cocoa Head, which is about 1,000 feet up, and I was not sure I was going to be able to make it. But after climbing that hike and getting to the top, I knew I could go farther. And just like in life, and starting this YouTube channel, I know I can go far if I just think about where I want to be. So let's talk about those 4 things that have to do with potential. Number 1, voices. What voices are you listening to? When you face a task, do you listen to the voice that says you can't do it? Or are you listening to the voice that says you can and you will? My friend Paula had an awesome speech about how the voices are trying to keep her from living out her dream and going to Orlando, Florida. But she tells the story much better than I do. After all, it's her story. But I'll give you the bottom line. Paula was listening to the voices in her head all the way up until a month out from the conference. That's when she decided to change her mind and say, no, I will make it to Orlando, some way, somehow. And 30 days later, she's on stage talking to thousands of people in Orlando, Florida. So be sure not to let the voices in your head stop you. So now that we talked about something in your head that makes you think you can't do something, let's talk about the external forces. Number 2, your peeps. And I'm not talking about the marshmallows. But speaking of peeps, if you like them, go ahead and leave me a comment down below and let me know. I don't like them. The people you surround yourself with is very important to how you're going to reach your potential. Are you surrounded by just a bunch of yes people? They say yes, 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 but don't give you any backing to back up that they support you in what you're trying to do? Or are you with like-minded people who want to follow you with that journey? Like-minded people will want to see you succeed. Now, you can surround yourself with a bunch of negative ninnies, but if you ask these people how they're going to help you meet your goal, they're going to say, oh, that's going to cost too much, or oh, I don't have time, or some other excuse. Like-minded people will say, that's a great idea, how do we get there? Number 3, consistency. We talked a little bit about consistency last week in the video on accountability, but this is a different kind of consistency. In this context, how are you consistently growing yourself? Are you reading any books? Especially books by the likes of John Maxwell, Simon Sinek, Tony Robbins, some of the major names in leadership today. Or are you reading a book by somebody else who maybe is a lesser known author? Do you seek out people to help you get to your goal? Always. One thing you can consistently do is find somebody to get mentored by. This is a little bit different from like-minded people. This is somebody that's already reached the position that you want to be in. Whether that's the CEO of a company, a manager, a YouTube star. Listen to them, talk to them, build a relationship with them. They will help you out. The important thing to do is when you want to consistently follow somebody to get their mentorship, try to be sure that it's within their time and not your time. Your time is important, but so is theirs. And one other thing to constantly grow yourself is to even look up YouTube videos. And number 4, feedback. Feedback is a very scary and negative thing to have happen. But I can tell you, feedback is good all the time. Whether it's positive or negative. Because if it's negative feedback, how can you grow? How can you become better? And if it's positive feedback, what did you do well? And how did you do it? So you can do it again. The biggest thing about feedback is honesty. You gotta be honest when giving feedback to somebody. And in turn, hopefully they're honest with you as well. If you're having trouble meeting the task or making the task happen, you yourself as a leader and a leader around you hopefully will pull you aside, give you some honest feedback, and work with you to figure out how to make it better for next time. Worst feedback in the world, in my opinion, is feedback where it's like, hey man, you screwed up, and then they walk away, and then you're like, well, how did I screw up? I don't understand. There is always a time for positive feedback. It was one time said, no news is good news. Unfortunately, I don't think that's always the case. No news just means you're not getting any feedback, so you don't know if it's good news. You don't know if it's bad news. Your leader above you may not be the kind of leader that you need. They may be a leader that doesn't communicate very well, and that's okay, because they need that feedback to be told, hey boss, I'm not getting anything back from you. I need to know, am I doing a good job? Am I not? Is there something I can improve upon? Is there something that you've been thinking about starting, but don't have the time to do, that I can help out with? And while I do it, get some coworkers to also help out and make this company better. One of the important things that you can gain from feedback is finding your boss's heartbeat. What keeps him up at night? When you start doing things that meet his heartbeat, then you start leading, even though you're not in a leadership position. And to me, that's true leadership. So I hope you found these 4 things with potential to be helpful. If you did, comment down below and let me know what you think. Or if there's some other leadership topics that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments below and I'll cover that in a later video. And remember, when you leave a comment, keep it polite, keep it clean. Leave a like on this video, click here for last week's video, and hit that bell icon to get notified every time I upload a video. Much mahalo for watching. Aloha!